Hi, Mr. Pena. My name is Devin, and I'm the registered dietitian here on staff. I'm wondering if now is a good time to chat.
Yes, I'm here for my appointment.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take a seat. So I was interested first in hearing more about you. So I deal with food, I deal with the things that we eat and how they affect our health. And so one of the best ways to start with that is to hear from you. What are your current eating habits? What do you like to enjoy for breakfast, lunch, dinner? Can you let me know some of those things?
Right now, my eating habits are whatever's convenient. So
Okay.
it's not always the best. Aside from breakfast, there's a kitchen that I have access to. So I usually start my day with coffee and an omelet.
Okay.
Usually egg whites, ham, bell peppers, cheese, and that's breakfast. Lunch, a lot of times I skip, or what's most easily accessible is typically something frozen from our little office kitchen thing
Mm-hmm.
or vending machines. There's energy drinks and stuff, but I usually try to stick to water.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as dinner goes, it really just depends on how me and the wife are feeling.
Okay.
Every once in a while, fast food. Every once in a while, cook. Every once in a while, leftovers.
Okay. What do your snacks look like?
Delicious. Typically sweeter.
Okay. And what are some of those sweeter options you go to?
Well, in the office, we typically have a bowl full of candy.
Mm-hmm.
We have vending machines that are always stocked with, as you could imagine, not the greatest items. If I'm at home on the weekend, cereal is often a snack of choice,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it.
Okay. So I'm reading that you're here today because your A1C came back as 6.2%, which is a marker of prediabetes. Are you familiar with prediabetes or diabetes in general?
Yes.
Yes.
Borderline diabetes.
Okay. And how are you feeling about hearing those words?
Strange because I feel fine. I don't feel like I have diabetes or anything.
Okay, well, you don't have diabetes. You are pre-diabetic, which is different than diabetes. So being pre-diabetic means that your blood sugar is higher than normal, but not high enough to be classified as diabetes. And so it can also be referred to as impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance, or borderline diabetes, like you said. How are you feeling about that?
Makes me worried.
Okay.
I don't want to be borderline diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I like my sweets, so concerned.
Concerned. That's very normal to feel. And just so you know, you're not alone. 1 in 3 people, 33% of people with prediabetes don't even know that they have the condition because there are no real symptoms, like you said.
Didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you feel fine, so that's one of the most common concerns. But it's great that we caught this now before it turns into diabetes, because once you hit that, it's really hard to recover from that. So starting here, we're going to talk about what you can do about prediabetes, and how you can maybe switch up some of your eating habits in order to help that that A1C level become reduced over time. But it is going to take some work on your part. So how are you feeling about putting in that work?
I already work enough, but it is my health.
Yes, it is your health. It's our most vital asset. So definitely something to consider. But I'm here to help you and to guide you through this so that you don't feel like you're kind of a fish out of water. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So what can I do about it? Over here we have something that says eat healthier. Now, I am not a huge fan of that saying, just because what does that mean? What does eat healthier mean? So we're going to talk about what you said, is your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your sweeter snacks, and see how we can alter those to eat more nutritiously for you personally, in a way that's still convenient to your lifestyle. Lose weight. Do you feel like that is something that you want to approach at this time?
The Marine Corps says I'm fat, so I should.
Okay, so that is definitely something we can address. Besides being a registered dietitian, I'm also a certified personal trainer, so that is something that I'm qualified to give you advice and guidance about. What does your current exercise look like?
Not enough.
Not enough? Okay.
Not enough. I need a workout plan.
Okay. So one of the things that is really easy to start to implement is that can really help with glucose levels is just going for a 10 to 15 minute walk after your meals. I know that that might not be super convenient for your working life, but if that's something that you are able to, even if it's walk around your building for 10 or 15 minutes or even 5 or 10 minutes, that's something that's going to help with those glucose levels after your meals. It makes our cells more makes our cells more likely to absorb that insulin instead of be resistant to it. Are you familiar with how insulin works?
No.
No? Okay, so when we eat meals, especially meals that include a lot of carbohydrates, are you familiar with what carbohydrates are?
Yes.
Okay, so when we eat meals that have carbohydrates, our pancreas releases insulin, and that insulin is a hormone that helps our body take in those carbohydrates, take those cells, so that they can use it for energy. When we are becoming pre-diabetic or diabetic, our cells become resistant to that insulin, and so then that insulin is just free flowing in our bloodstream. And so we want to prevent that from happening, and one of the ways that we can do that is through, eating more nutritiously, losing some weight, but also going on those 10 to 15 minute walk after meals or just participating in regular exercise.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then checking your blood sugar levels regularly. So I have it here that you haven't been to see a doctor in a while.
Sure.
So we want to be able to check those blood sugar levels regularly, especially as we implement things like a change in our diet, a change in our lifestyle.
Define regularly.
So I would say at least a couple times a year.
Okay.
But really, if you want to make sure that what we're doing is working, every 3 months to start would be a good place to start. Because it does take our body a little while to adapt to changes, and so we do want to make sure that the A1C level is coming down, and so I'd say like every 3 months would be a good way to help to gauge that progress. So that's going to be a big factor, and then from there, you just want to keep a lookout for these symptoms when it comes to, just to make sure things are not getting worse. These are symptoms of diabetes. So if the things that we do are not working, that will lead you down the road to type 2 diabetes. And so you want to look out for frequent urination, feeling very thirsty or thirstier than usual, feeling very hungry even while you're eating, any kind of blurred vision or extreme fatigue, cuts or bruises that are slow to heal, and then tingling, pain, or numbness in the hands or feet. Do you currently experience any of those?
I do not.
Okay, great. That's a good sign. Okay, so I would like you to tell me 1 or 2 goals based on this handout, the 4 things that we listed that you would like to work on specifically.
Losing weight,
Okay,
exercising more, and eating healthier.
okay. And eating, say, more nutritiously.
More nutritiously.
There we go.
Less bad.
And what challenges do you see getting in the way of any of these goals?
Laziness, and laziness.
And what can you do to combat that?
Remember that ultimately all of this is for my own benefit.
Yes, that's a great memory, but we also need something tangible.
Something tasty?
Something that you can do physically or mentally that can help you to work on these goals. So if laziness is a challenge, what can you do to counteract that laziness? Would it be scheduling your workouts as like an appointment?
A routine.
Okay.
Start an actual routine where it's laid out what I'm supposed to be doing, as opposed to just going through and instead of doing what's convenient, doing what's conveniently next on the list of things to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Schedule it out.
And when it comes to eating more nutritiously, what are some things that you feel like you can do, or what would be some things that would be a barrier to that for you?
I think going to with your first question you asked,
Yeah.
I could do the same thing. And plan my meals, just like scheduling a routine, implementing as part of the routine meal prepping, and choosing ahead of time as opposed to going with whatever is convenient. What's more convenient than a meal that's already made?
One of the things that I see is kind of our weak, I guess a weak spot would be your snack options. So they tend to be on the sweeter side. They tend to be candy at work, vending machines, and cereal. What are some other options that you can use in those times that you think would help you?
Replace them with, well, we do have a small store that we have access to that not necessarily all of those snacks are nothing but sweets. There's also protein bars, granola bars, and salads and whatnot. Every once in a while I do partake in those, but again, a lot of times it ends up being whatever is convenient because of how busy the day is and what I'm able to step away to do. I feel like meal prepping again would assist in that, because everything's already ready and available within reach, and I don't have to worry about taking the time to go and retrieve the items. I could instead use that time to go and, like you said, walk around after instead of before.
Those are great ideas. When it comes to support with these goals, do you have that? Do you have someone to support you or a support system?
Well, I wish I had someone to make me a workout routine, but yes, I have the support. My work encourages working out and physical activity, and I'm able to take the time to do that. I'm trying to get better at it, so.
Okay, that's great. Just want to make sure support is a huge piece of the puzzle, and we have to make sure that we have people in our lives that are supporting our goals, or else it makes it harder to achieve those goals. And are there any diet changes that you've made in the past that have helped you, that you've been able to stick to?
I did stick to meal prepping for a while.
Okay.
But between being satisfied with the results and a busier work schedule, I kind of just reverted back into my old ways. So while I did stick to it for an extended amount of time and I did reach my goals, I went right back to not paying attention to it again. So
okay, but it worked for you in the past.
It has, yes.
Okay. One of the biggest things when it comes to sustaining our progress is to keep those habits. It doesn't mean that you need to be as strict as you were when you were making all of that progress, but keeping at least kind of a foundation to those changes can be really helpful in order to increase sustainability moving forward. So just to repeat back those goals that we've talked about, you want to lose weight, exercise more, and eat more nutritiously. You talked about prepping your meals ahead of time, utilizing a workout program in order to follow a schedule, that you have support in order to help with this, making different decisions, going on walks after your meals, and is there anything else that I missed?
No, that sums it all up.
Okay, do you have any questions for me when it comes to your goals, or when it comes to pre-diabetes, or anything that you should be focused on?
I would like to enlist your help in a workout routine.
We'll help you with that.
Other than that, you've informed me quite well.
Wonderful. Well, Mr. Pena, that about wraps up our session today. I am available if you think of any questions that you might have later or at another time. You can email me or give me a call. But otherwise, I'm going to work on a plan for you and get that sent over. Does that sound good?
Sounds good, Mrs. Pena.
All right. Thank you so much. Wait.